Welcome back to ZNGP today. Less than a week after the intense Brno Grand Prix, Ducati's MotoGP contingent reconvened, this time at Hungary's brand new Balaton Park circuit. Factory aces Marc Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia, joined by every Ducati squad and test rider Michel Pirot, completed a full day of private testing, laying the groundwork for MotoGP's debut at this tight, flowing venue. BMW's bid to fill the void left by Toprak Razgatlioglu in World Superbike with a MotoGP rider reportedly hit a snag. According to Italian media, Maverick Vinales turned down the chance to switch to BMW's World SBK squad for 2026, opting instead to continue his MotoGP career with KTM. Rumors of BMW joining MotoGP have swirled since the announcement of the 850 cubic centimeters regulations for 2027, and intensified when Toprak Razgatlioglu departed BMW's World SBK effort for a MotoGP ride with Pramac Yamaha. Yet, BMW Group Motorsport head Marcus Flash has tempered expectations, confirming only that MotoGP is one option among several, but that a 2027 debut simply isn't on the cards. As the MotoGP paddock prepares for its first visit to Balaton Park, Ducati gave its factory riders an early preview. One name stood out, Pecco Bagnaia, the two-time world champion, who became the first to publicly share a lap time from the test. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. On Tuesday, Balaton Park buzzed with Ducati activity, from the factory's pair of Panigale V4S machines all the way to satellite squads. VR46 riders Franco Morbidelli and Fabio Di Gianantonio, alongside Gresini racing teammates Alex Marquez and Fermin Aldeguer, all sampled the new asphalt under clear skies. Collectively, the riders logged around 70 laps each on the 4.38 km layout, enough mileage to chart braking markers, test gear ratios, and fine-tune suspension for the August 22nd to 24th Hungarian GP. Official competition will kick off earlier, with the Austrian Grand Prix on August 15th to 17th. Marquez wasted no time assessing the track's character, praising both its surface and its demands on rider technique. It was a great day with the entire Ducati course team. The circuit layout is very unique and unusual. It will require a slightly different riding style. There are many braking and acceleration zones. The more you get into the rhythm, the more you feel the speed. Marc Marquez's statement. He lauded the smooth, high-grip asphalt and the track designer's work, but cautioned that Balaton Park is no typical European venue. You'll need precision in the chicanes and confidence under brakes. Bagnaia echoed his teammates' enthusiasm, noting the circuit's compact dimensions and the fun factor they bring, especially on Ducati's V4S test bike. The layout is very small, so you have to be careful in the chicanes, but I'm satisfied. It's unique, and with the Panigale V4S, I even drifted a bit. Pecco Bagnaia's statement. Though he acknowledged the GP25 will behave differently, no drift mode allowed in MotoGP, Bagnaia left the day confident. Getting back on the bike after the holidays is always nice. I can't wait to race here. What makes this test unique is the all-encompassing Ducati presence, factory pros, satellites, and test riders all under one roof. That collaborative spirit accelerates setup development and ensures best practices flow seamlessly between squads. Michel Pirot's data, gathered in his role as test rider, served as a baseline, while Marquez and Bagnaia added real-world feedback. VR46 and Gresini riders then adapted these findings to their own machines, creating a multi-layered briefing that should pay dividends once lights go green in August. Beyond line learning, Ducati's engineers used the test day to trial gear ratios and brake settings ideal for clinches and quick direction changes. With 70 laps in the bank, they can now simulate full race stints in the wind tunnel and rider in the loop simulators. Track temperatures at Balaton Park are expected to hover in the mid-30s Celsius come late August, information that Ducati's thermal management team will pore over to safeguard tire life and performance under race pressure. Balaton Park's maiden MotoGP test offered Ducati an invaluable head start, a unique circuit demanding precision braking, rapid direction changes, and perfect grip management. Marc Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia left the day energized, ready to unlock this unusual layout's secrets. As the paddock shifts next to Spielberg and then returns to Hungary in just 3 weeks, Ducati's data trove will be their ace in the hole, ensuring they lead the charge at MotoGP's newest venue. With Razgatlioglu set to join Pramac Yamaha in MotoGP next season, BMW faces the challenge of replacing a star rider in World SBK. The likely candidate to step in has been Danilo Petrucci, who could move from Barni Ducati to BMW. This transition could open up 2 seats if BMW also parts ways with Michael van der Mark, whose future remains uncertain. Motorsport reports that BMW approached Vinales about a potential World SBK ride for 2026, but the former MotoGP winner declined the offer. Vinales has been pivotal in KTM Tech 3's progress this season and seems set to remain in MotoGP, further developing the Austrian manufacturer's package. Vinales currently sits 11th in the 2025 MotoGP standings, just ahead of factory teammate Brad Binder, with notable top 5 finishes at the Spanish GP, Le Mans, and Assen. Despite a tire pressure penalty at the Spanish GP costing him a podium, his performances have drawn praise and contributed to KTM's best results this season. With Vinales out, BMW must consider other veteran riders such as Alvaro Bautista, Jonathan Rea, and Andrea Iannone, all without confirmed 2026 contracts, to potentially fill gaps in their World SBK lineup. Vinales is expected to stay on with Tech 3 KTM for 2026, playing a key role in the team's ongoing development. His commitment to the KTM project underlines his desire to continue competing at MotoGP level rather than making a switch to World SBK. BMW's plan to lure a MotoGP rider like Vinales into World SBK has stalled, leaving the German manufacturer with tough decisions for its 2026 lineup. Meanwhile, Vinales remains focused on MotoGP, driving KTM's improvement in a fiercely competitive season. The motorsport world will watch how BMW responds and who ultimately fills the shoes of the departed Razgatlioglu. BMW has kept MotoGP on its radar for years, with 2 grid slots intentionally left vacant after Suzuki's exit. When Dorna capped the grid at 22 riders, it became clear any new factory would need to partner with an existing independent team rather than enter solo. The question of MotoGP for BMW has been a topic of discussion for a long time, and I assure you that we have still not yet finally answered it. Marquez flash statement. Despite high-profile motorsport involvement, BMW has held its cards close, evaluating series viability, investment, and technical demands before committing beyond concept. Flash emphasizes that BMW will first define its overall motorsport strategy, then choose the disciplines that best align with brand goals and engineering strengths. We'll make a strategic decision first, and then we'll define the technical path which we'll follow. This multi-pronged approach sees MotoGP as one option, balanced against off-road projects and continued World SBK participation, where BMW already holds competitive hardware and strong market relevance. Perhaps the most definitive statement came when Flash ruled out a 2027 MotoGP entry, despite the synergies offered by the new engine formula. 2027 is definitely not feasible for us to join in then. That timeline would have aligned with BMW's broader electrification and powertrain roadmaps, but the technical ramp-up and partnership negotiations require more runway than the 2-year window allows. In lieu of a rapid MotoGP push, BMW continues to invest in World SBK, preparing for 2026 with the likely addition of Danilo Petrucci alongside Toprak Razgatlioglu's successor. Flash underlined that sustaining and growing BMW's Superbike program remains a priority, citing the series' European roots and strong development ties to its production motorcycles. BMW's leadership is asking the paddock for patience as it finalizes its plan, a process Flash says will conclude in the coming months. We are constantly working on our motorsport strategy. So, please give us some more months and we'll come out with an answer. As MotoGP's manufacturer roster stabilizes around Ducati, Aprilia, KTM, Yamaha, and Honda, BMW's next move will be closely watched, both by fans longing for fresh factory rivalries and by industry stakeholders eyeing the sport's commercial potential. While BMW's name still carries weight in MotoGP rumor mills, Marcus Flash's remarks inject realism. A 2027 factory entry is off the table, and BMW's motorsport future will emerge from a broader strategic review. Whether that leads to a new two-wheel chapter, or a redoubled focus on World SBK and off-road, remains to be seen. The paddock waits, calendar in hand, as BMW charts its next course. Ducati sent a strong contingent to Hungary, with Marc Marquez, Alex Marquez, Pecco Bagnaia, Firmin Aldiger, Franco Morbidelli, and Fabio Di Giannantonio taking to the track. Veteran test rider Michel Pirro was also on hand to guide the group through the unfamiliar layout. The test, held just weeks before MotoGP's debut Hungarian GP, was critical for teams to collect early data and rider feedback. Bagnaia clocked a 1 minute and 41.468 seconds lap aboard a Panigale V4, Ducati's production superbike. It's the only lap time made public so far, stirring speculation about what the MotoGP spec Desmas set-aside GP25 could achieve on the same circuit. For comparison, the World SBK lap record at Balaton Park stands at 1 minute and 38.357 seconds, but that came during full race conditions on race-prepped superbikes. The lap time offers a glimpse but not a full picture. Questions remain: what tires were used? Was the track in full grip conditions? What fuel loads or electronic settings were deployed? Bagnaia's time, while impressive, was more about building familiarity with the tight, twisty layout than setting outright records. Marc Marquez described the circuit as unusual, while Bagnaia offered a more technical take, warning about the chicane's demanding nature. The track is small, you have to be careful in the chicanes, but I'm satisfied. The layout is unique, and we're having fun. It will be different with the Desmas set-aside GP, but for now I'm enjoying it with the Panigale V4. With MotoGP's first Hungarian Grand Prix just around the corner, all eyes are on how quickly riders adapt to the tight, narrow circuit, and how much faster the GP bikes can go compared to their production-based counterparts. Expect more intense testing and perhaps more lap times revealed in the coming days as teams ramp up their preparations. Pecco Bagnaia's early benchmark of 1 minute and 41.468 seconds at Balaton Park has set the tone for what's to come. But with little clarity on conditions and equipment, it's just the start of MotoGP's journey into the unknown in Hungary. One thing is certain, the Desmas set-aside GP25 will be unleashed there soon, and when it is, the stopwatch will really start ticking. Thanks for watching ZNGP today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!